Okay, happy Wednesday, people. So first things first, tonight is our 2 to 22 portal meditation. So myself and Karen and Rachel and the rest of Project Earthwork team will all be there to hold space for you. And we're going to have a magical meditation. There's going to be channeling. There's going to be some deep work with the earth tonight. This is our first meditation for 2022, so we're really excited. And then there's going to be beautiful crystal singing bowls as well at the end. So it's going to be a whole beautiful celebration of this time of year now, which is freaking incredible. So here in the Northern Hemisphere, we literally I'll take some photos of my garden. It's just so pretty, like all the snowdrops are coming out, and my like just flowers everywhere. So it's just like, this is always such a profound time of year because everything is so dead in winter, and then all of a sudden all these beautiful little things are just like sprouting up everywhere. So it feels really incredible to experience the land up here like it does. So it's something that's quite foreign for me as a South African, because seasons there always feel different to seasons here. So I want to speak a little bit today about collectively what's happening at the moment. I'm looking at a lot of people, speaking to a lot of people, observing what's happening in the world. And I got this message yesterday about it's almost like the guides were saying the words that they used was it's a collective midlife crisis that we're going through at the moment. Okay, so it was almost like they had a bit of a laugh, and they like, yo, you people. So what is happening at the moment is that we are going through this process of reestablishing the light within ourselves. Okay, so we are literally starting to remember our gifts, who we are, what we're all about, all of those type of things. And so many people around or literally like running around going, why am I here? What am I doing? I don't understand. Why am I feeling this way? There's all of this like uncertainty, and literally like, I just don't want to do this anymore. It's just like basically just gonna like turn my head away from all this shit that's happening, everything that I'm feeling. It's just too much. It's just too overwhelming. And last week I had the opportunity, thanks to my gorgeous husband, he bought me a spa voucher, like a few days spa trip, right? A 2-night spa trip away. And I had the opportunity to go there, and it's a really magical place where I went. And I saw, in that time when I was away from everything, I literally cocooned myself, stayed off social media. My friend came with me for a day as well, and like in the water, just like really like focusing on like what was happening, being very present, etc. And it was so clear to me that this life that we are creating at the minute that we are in, we have become so detached from all of the magical happenings that's around us. Okay, so as I sit here today, I'm like observing the garden, and I'm going, fuck, all the flowers are coming out, like the earth is literally going, okay, I'm like awakening from my winter slumber, right? But as humanity, we have become so far detached from the magic that's around us, that's happening all the time, that we are getting so marred in the suffering, and that we are literally going, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, I don't want this anymore, right? And so when we start pulling back the threads of the magic that is all around us, when we actually start connecting with nature, for instance, that's a great place to start. And you take 5 minutes to observe what's happening in your environment around you every day, and you start looking at like these magical little things that's literally popping up out of the earth that wasn't here 2 weeks ago. There weren't any flowers in my garden 2 weeks ago, and now all of a sudden full bloom, white flowers out. Like my one tree is full of pink camellias. I'm like, dude, you're a little bit early, but like it's coming, you know. And it's just like all these magical things are just on cue, showing themselves to us again. And so when we start engaging with the magic of what is actually happening around us, and how incredibly orchestrated nature is, and how it does its thing, and it literally blooms when it needs to, etc., then like it brings us back to ourselves, right? We have this moment where we can literally sit and go, okay, so I can observe all of these things. Yes, things are tough for me. Yes, things are a bit shit, like things are intense. I'm feeling quite overwhelmed, etc. But it's almost like bringing these like strands of magic back into our awareness brings back these bits of light back into ourselves. So if you're feeling really dark at the minute, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like, oh my goodness, everything is just too much, I invite you to take a moment to stop. I invite you to pick up a feather. Okay, I had the most profound conversation with Rob about this feather that literally found me while I was on my trip, busy like discovering these horses, and this feather of a bird of prey was right in front of me, like woven into this tree, and it was like, look at this feather. And so I brought the feather home, opened up a box, and we were having tea on Saturday, and Rob looked at the feather and he went, oh my goodness, look at this. And we were talking about the lines. So it was a bird of prey feather, and it had all these beautiful lines on it. And when you looked at the feather, there was like the stem of the feather, and every single strand of hair that came out of this feather was like all perfectly lined up, right? So every little strand that grew out of this little point, like right out of that little center part of the feather, it all knew exactly when to change color and match up with the next little hair. And I mean, there's thousands of little hairs. If you go and look at a feather, there's thousands of little hairs, and every single one of these feather strands literally knew when to change from brown to white to brown to white, so that they could create this amazing like little feather. And when we started talking about it, it's like, this stuff comes from a cell. Like there was a little cell somewhere that went, oh, I need to become a feather. And boom, like it just magically became this feather. And that's the same for everything else in the world. When you start looking at like the intricacies and how these things just magically make themselves into trees and into flowers and into feathers of perfection, it's just like, mind blown. And then you take a moment to go, whoa, there's so much more out there than me just sitting here feeling sorry for myself because I'm feeling blue today. Okay, so, and I'm not diminishing the fact that you're feeling what you're feeling at the minute, but the thing is that in the moments in between feeling what you're feeling, there's strands of light, there's strands of like amazingness that's trying to come through to bring you back to you, to bring you back to what the magic is of being alive in this moment on this planet. Okay, so the collective midlife crisis is all about like trying to run away from finding yourself again, finding your joy, finding the magic within you. And for me, it was so beautiful last week just to see all of this, like all of the stuff that I observed and how much magic is coming back again. Okay, and this time of year, the light, everything that's happening, when we consciously focus on those things, we're going to see more of it. Okay, more and more and more of it will come to you if you turn your attention and your energy to it. Okay, so take a moment today, find one thing that you can look at and ask yourself, how did this come here? How did this leaf, for instance? Okay, because I'm looking at the bare trees outside my window here now, and they've got like dead leaves on them. And I know in a few weeks' time, these things are going to start budding. And I know that there's one little cell within the structure of that tree that goes, guys, what's the date? I need to start opening up and I need to start growing. And then the amazingness of how that is all constructed and all the little veins and how that like connects to the rest of the tree. Okay, so just just take a moment and come back and go, oh, look at these things, because nature is the ultimate magician. Okay, so I just wanted to share that because I feel there's a lot of people who need to remember the magic now. And like we all have shit to go through, we all have suffering, we all have like things can be heavy, but the beauty is that when we start taking the light and we put it with the heavy becomes less heavy. Okay, and the light and the magic and what we feel starts to really take over and make us take our attention to places that is filled with so much more light. Okay, so just take a moment and just do that. And join us tonight for the meditation if you can. It would be awesome to have you there. There will be lots of speaking about magic, and there will be lots of reweaving us back with Mother Nature and letting her speak to us tonight. So I'm very excited about that. So look after yourself and just take one moment, 5 minutes, to go and find something around you that's just a little bit magic. Okay, have a beautiful, beautiful week. And I will be sharing some really exciting news next week. So I'm almost there to tell you guys about the brand new offerings that I'm bringing out in Feb. Okay, so have a fantastic week. I hope to see you tonight. It's a free meditation, and we're very excited to have you there. Have a beautiful day.